form and how did I select who was going to be on the Pushiest Little Broads in America list? Well, number one, they're resilient as hell. Number two, they're generous to female-focused charities. And number three, they're self-made. They came from nowhere and built their career from the ground up, bootstrapping. That's how I made these selections. Today, I'm bringing you the top 10 pushy little broads in America in my viewpoint. Number 10, Wanda Sykes. No choice. But Wanda has pushed through a lot of boundaries in her career. And she even co-founded her own production company, which I love the name of, Pushiest Productions. Wanda will not tolerate racism, which is why she resigned from being a writer on the Roseanne Barr show after Roseanne tweeted some pretty racist remarks. She's very open about financial equality among women. One of her fellow comedians posted on Twitter that she was offended that Netflix only offered her $500,000 for a segment, and Wanda tweeted back, "I was offered half of that and went ahead and took my show to Epics." So I love women that openly discuss salaries and fairness in the marketplace. Another reason I like Wanda Sykes as number 10 on the Pushiest Little Broads in America is Wanda is a lover, not a fighter. She had a double mastectomy, and now she gives generously to the American Cancer Society and to a number of LGBT charities. She even gives to the Trevor Project, which helps prevent suicide among the LGBT community. So number 9 on the top 10 list of the pushiest little broads in America is someone that you haven't heard of, and I'm doing homage to my hometown in Kansas City, Missouri. Her name is Jennifer Lapka Pfeiffer. She began in a small little town in western Kansas of just 335 people with an aspiration to become a museum director. So she flew off to England to pursue her postgraduate degree, and then was pulled back to Kansas City for some internships at the Nelson Atkins Museum and the Kemprey Museum, where she was also pulled into mentorships with Danny O'Neill of the Roastery Coffee and Henry Block, no less. So through those inspirations and the inspiration from her grandmother, who was the person that originally taught her to sew, and that if you can sew and create, you can do anything in life, she took a swing from museum director back into the fashion industry. And she saw that in the 1930s that Kansas City used to be a mecca for garment production. We were actually had a downtown location called the Garment District. She wanted to revitalize that, but she also wanted to pull in a nonprofit side of it where she could help women and give back to the community in Kansas City. So she founded in 2015 a nonprofit organization called Rightfully Sewn, with the tagline, "Always moving the needle," which is wonderful. So it had a two-part strategy. Her business had a two-part strategy. Number one, she would do training for at-risk women, potentially people that have been abused or homeless, that didn't have a career, didn't have a means to make an income. She would train them to be seamstress. On the second part, she would do 2-year residencies with fashion designers so they can produce high quality, internationally labeled materials here in Kansas City. By putting the two things together, she would be helping the workforce and underprivileged women at risk, and she would be helping the Kansas City economy and hopefully the economy in the Midwest by producing high quality garments and pulling back the history of Kansas City as a garment district. So flash forward to 2019, she's already moved into expanded space. She's accepting male seamstress as well as female, and she's doing great gains with her vision. Annually, she holds an event called the Golden Gala, which is her annual fundraiser to help fund the seamstress training program for underprivileged men and women. So I give a huge shout out to Jennifer Lapka Pfeiffer for having the vision to delve back into history, bring Kansas City back up into its arts district heritage, and help women by doing so. One of the smart things that Jennifer did when she was formatting her entrepreneurial business that made it work was collaborating with the best of the best and the biggest of the biggest in the Midwest. So to make the sewing training piece of it work with the residency of the fashion designers, she collaborated with the Women's Employment Network, with Central Exchange, which is one of the strongest women's business organizations in Kansas City, as well as the Midwest Women's Business Enterprise Council, say that 3 times fast, and with Lee Jeans, which is an iconic headquarters here in Kansas City. By putting this all together and getting the force behind those, I'm sure it's taken her further along with her business than if she would have tried to do it alone.